my name is Sherry, and for the month of October, I have 45 volumes of manga plus one fan book. And to give fair warning, I do like to flip through basically everything. I know I personally find it helpful to get interested in a series sometimes, or just to see if it's an art style I like. So let's take a look. First up is the box set to Witch Hat Adelaide, and the illustrations on it is just beautiful. I have been waiting for the box set to come out, although I didn't have it on pre-order, but it came at a perfect time for me to buy in store, and it comes with these beautiful art cards. The first is my favorite, and I have already bought a picture frame for it to hang in my collection room, but the art style to these is just amazing. They're a good size too. I'm really impressed that they aren't small postcards. And this illustration of Coco, I really do like the figure, so I am considering picking that up also. If you're not familiar with this series, this is about our girl on the front named Coco and how from a young age she has wanted to use magic, but apparently only witches can use magic. And she ends up finding the truth behind that. And it is a very bittersweet story on how she becomes a witch, but it has fantastic world building. I highly recommend this series if you haven't already tried it, and I believe the anime is coming out soon. Ascendance of a Bookworm, Fan Book 5. Now, I originally started collecting these also just because it has the light novel art when I decided that I would collect the manga instead. But since the manga has been so slow to release and kind of all over the place to get them out faster, I am starting to pick up the light novels also. Since the series is nearly over, at least being published in English, but this fan book is a little bit chunkier than the other ones, and it also has art from other artists. And as usual, it has like a question and answers with Sensei, some side stories, some extra comics, and even sketches, which is really cool to see, especially if you're interested in any drawing. It gives so much extra information, but if you're not reading light novels, it does become quite confusing. And obviously, many spoilers. Father, I Don't Want This Marriage, Volume 5. I haven't finished this volume yet, but I am still adoring what's happening between our leads. Marriage at Convenience, Volume 1. Now, this is an age gap romance and also a regression, but I am really enjoying it so far and beautiful art. Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, Final Volume 9, and this is a fantastic wrap up of this series. His Sensual Whisper, Volume 1. Now, this is a steamship and also an office romance, so it is quite explicit. Now, this one shot of First Kiss has 4 stories in it, and the couple on the cover was my absolute favorite, and that was story number 3. And it was a tough pick who I would put in second place, but ultimately the second story wins me over. And then the first, and lastly, number 4. But they were all really enjoyable. I highly wish that there was more of these characters for sure. But for now, I will continue to pick up their story of Fall in Love, False Angels. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, Volume 9. And this story continues to be absolutely amazing. There are so many fantastic characters in the series. The Ayakashi Hunters Tainted Bride Volume 4. I continue to love Yako and Nano so much and how sweet they can be together. And in spite of their circumstances and things happening, it is just fantastic. Nina the Starry Bride Volume 12. Now, this is a huge turning point for Set as a character. And I know for many people, if they weren't a fan of him, they became a fan of him at this point. Easily one of my favorite volumes. Welcome to Demon School, Aruma-kun, Volume 16. Now, this is about wrapping up the end of this arc, and it has been fantastic. Reincarnated in a Mafia Dating Sim, Volume 2. This series continues to be really good, and it's really taken off and involving a lot more characters. This also has a side story in the back, which you can't complain about. They're always a lot of fun. Otaku Vampires Love Bite Volume 5, and this series continues to be really, really good. We're getting more characters, a lot more tough decisions happening, and things are evolving. The Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor, Volume 6. This was a fantastic volume, and I know it is an age gap, also a regression, but it has moments of seriousness and also of being really sweet. Vampire Night Memories, Volume 10. This is the final one, and I do have some catching up to do, but this has offered so much for fans of the series, and I really hope that it ends on a good note and wraps things up nicely. Spring Storm and Monster Volume 4. Now, I am a big fan of this series, but if you don't like love triangles or the dynamic of step-sibling relationships, this will definitely not be for you. Firefly Wedding Volume 4. This series continues to be really good. This volume is getting more serious, so it was a little harsh at times, but it has moments of grace. A Condition Called Love Volume 15. This has got to be my favorite cover from the series so far, but this volume had moments that were really, really hard, so the direction in which this is going is a little tough, but it had moments of sweetness. Bride of the Death God Volume 1. This was a really strong first volume, and I look forward to more. But this is about our death god and a girl with apparent incurable disease connected in perhaps more than we know. Ascendance of a Bookworm, Part 3, Volume 4. And this is a really nice volume. It's really good to see the connections that Rosemine still has and how they're evolving, and there's certainly some fun happening around. Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent, Volume 4. This series I absolutely adore, and it is easily becoming my go-to series to just reread over and over again. It is super cute, even with some chaos going on. The Condemned Villainess Goes Back in Time and Aims to Become the Ultimate Villain, Volume 5. I haven't read this one just yet, but I'm very anxious to see where it's going to go. Seventh Time Loop, Volumes 5 and 7. So now I am caught up with the manga, and I am also a light novel reader, and I love them so much. I just cannot get enough of Riche and Arnold, so I could not resist having the manga also. I was reincarnated as the heroine on the verge of a bad ending, and I am determined to fall in love. I have volumes 5 and 6 here, and I have yet to still read them, but I really enjoy the connections that the female lead is making and some surprises along the way. Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right, Volume 1. I really think this series is cute. I like that we sometimes see her in that chibi form, and I also like with the male lead how we don't often see his mouth, which reminds me of Kupo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. Dead Rock, Volumes 1 and 3. So now I'm caught up with what has been released so far, and I do really enjoy this series. I am a Hiro Mashima fan. It is enjoyable if you like darker series, but it does have its sense of humor. Twin Star Exorcist Volume 35. This is the final one, and it blew me away. I had no idea how this story was going to end, and it just turned out beautiful. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Volume 23, and I continue to love this series so much. The art style is incredible. The lore to it is fantastic, and things are getting a lot more complicated and serious, so it's really enjoyable. Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Volume 4 and 13. So now I'm officially caught up with what has been released, and this is just a beautifully written series. Kakuro Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, Volumes 1 to 10. Now, I have been wanting this series for probably about a year now, and since I believe it was Volume 5 that was out of stock, I decided that I would just hold off until it was back in stock, and it finally came once the new season for the anime aired. So I have grabbed them all, and some volumes are a little bit bigger than the others. This is a really nice series if you do like slower pace and especially around romance. So I like the variety for myself, and obviously it is fantasy. It has a little bit of mystery mixed in and just such a slice of life feel, and there isn't too many series that I would say I really like around food. There would be this one, and Past the Monster Meet My Lady are probably my two top favorites. This certainly has its drama and less big action based for sure, but the volumes are all very beautiful though. There's been a lot put into the covers and the backs of them, so they look fantastic. I highly recommend you checking it out if you have not already done so. That is everything for the month of October from me. I hope you enjoyed and maybe you found something of interest. Till next time, take care.